The yesterday's presentation depicted interconnected icons, growth metrics, and sustainability symbols reflects the integrated nature of this mapping, where environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and governance excellence are no longer treated as discrete silos but as interdependent drivers of long-term value creation. The upward analytical graphs signify performance measurement and continuous improvement, while the SDG wheel underscores alignment with internationally recognized development outcomes. Hello and welcome again, this is your host Harshit Simha continuing the topic SDG, BRSR Framework Mapping Matrix with broader perspective which has heightened stakeholder scrutiny and capital market expectations. Disclosure of SDG, BRSR Framework Mapping Matrix moves sustainability reporting beyond compliance. It positions ESG performance as a catalyst for resilient growth, responsible business conduct, and meaningful contribution to national and global development agendas. This will enhances transparency, comparability, and strategic coherence across sustainability disclosures. Slide 2. Cross-cutting BRSR disclosures supporting multiple SDGs. Cross-cutting disclosures under India's Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting (BRSR) framework enable organizations to demonstrate how core business practices simultaneously contribute to multiple Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). These disclosures transcend siloed reporting by integrating governance, social, environmental, and ethical dimensions across sections and principles. Section A, General Disclosures, establishes the organizational context through information on business activities, scale of operations, value chain presence, and workforce profile. These disclosures provide the baseline for linking corporate operations with SDGs such as SDG 8, Decent Work, SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, and SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, enabling stakeholders to assess the breadth of potential development impacts. Section B, Management and Process Disclosures, focuses on governance structures, policy frameworks, risk management, and oversight mechanisms. By embedding sustainability into decision-making and accountability processes, Section B strongly supports SDG 16, Peace, Justice and Strong Institutions, and SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals, while also acting as an enabler for all other SDGs. Principle 1, Ethics, Transparency and Accountability, promotes responsible business conduct, anti-corruption measures, and disclosure integrity. These elements underpin trust in institutions and markets, directly advancing SDG 16 and indirectly strengthening outcomes across social and environmental SDGs. Principle 4, Stakeholder Engagement, emphasizes inclusive identification and engagement of stakeholders. This principle supports SDGs 10, Reduced Inequalities, 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, and 17 by ensuring that business decisions reflect diverse societal interests. Principle 5, Human Rights, addresses due diligence, grievance redressal, and protection of vulnerable groups, reinforcing SDGs 5, Gender Equality, 8, Decent Work, and 10. Principle 6, Environment, integrates climate action, resource efficiency, and biodiversity protection, directly aligning with SDGs 6, 12, 13, 14, and 15 while generating co-benefits for health and livelihoods. Slide 3, Sector-specific SDG materiality considerations. Sector-specific SDG materiality recognizes that the relevance, scale, and nature of sustainability impacts vary significantly across industries. Effective SDG ESG BRSR alignment therefore requires tailoring disclosures to sectoral risk profiles, value chains, and stakeholder expectations. Financial services sector. Financial institutions exert their most significant SDG influence through capital allocation, risk assessment, and stewardship. Material SDGs include SDG 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth, SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, SDG 10, Reduced Inequalities, SDG 13, Climate Action, and SDG 16, Strong Institutions. responsible lending, ESG integration in credit decisions, climate risk stress testing, financial inclusion, and prevention of financial crime represent cross-cutting levers for impact across multiple SDGs. Information technology sector. The IT sector primarily contributes through innovation, digital inclusion, and human capital development. SDGs 4, quality education, 8, 9, and 17, partnerships, are central, alongside SDG 12, responsible consumption, and SDG 13 due to energy-intensive data infrastructure. Material considerations include data privacy, cybersecurity, workforce skilling, digital access, ethical AI, and energy-efficient operations. Manufacturing sector. Manufacturing has a broad SDG footprint spanning SDGs 6, clean water, 7, clean energy, 8, 9, 12, and 13. Environmental externalities, resource use, emissions, waste, and supply chain impacts are highly material, alongside occupational health and safety and labor standards. Circular economy practices and cleaner production technologies drive multi-SDG outcomes. Agriculture and food sector. This sector is intrinsically linked to SDG 2, Zero Hunger, while intersecting strongly with SDGs 6, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Material issues include water stewardship, soil health, biodiversity, climate resilience, farmer livelihoods, food safety, and responsible sourcing. Sustainable agriculture delivers both social and environmental co-benefits. Slide 4. Measuring SDG impact, from outputs to outcomes. Credible SDG reporting requires a clear shift from narrative-driven disclosures toward evidence-based measurement that demonstrates real-world change. While many organizations align their sustainability initiatives with the Sustainable Development Goals, credibility is established only when reporting explains how actions translate into measurable outcomes and longer-term impacts. This demands clarity on causality, context, and contribution rather than isolated activity reporting. SDG-aligned actions typically begin at the activity level, which captures inputs and efforts such as investments made, policies introduced, technologies deployed, or programs implemented. These indicators are essential for understanding intent and resource commitment but offer limited insight into effectiveness. Progressing to the output level, organizations report immediate, tangible deliverables, such as number of people trained, hectares restored, loans disbursed, or products redesigned. Outputs demonstrate scale and efficiency but still fall short of explaining whether lives, systems, or ecosystems have meaningfully improved. The outcome level represents a critical inflection point in SDG measurement. Outcomes assess changes in behavior, capacity, access, or performance that result from outputs, for example, improved employability following skills training, enhanced water security due to infrastructure upgrades, or reduced emissions intensity from process optimization. Outcome measurement requires baselines, time-bound indicators, and contextual analysis to demonstrate plausibility and relevance to specific SDG targets. Beyond outcomes lies the impact level, which focuses on long-term, systemic change aligned with national or global SDG ambitions, such as poverty reduction, climate resilience, biodiversity recovery, or improved institutional trust. Impact measurement is inherently complex due to attribution challenges, time lags, and external influencing factors. As a result, most organizations are expected to demonstrate contribution rather than direct causation, supported by a well-articulated theory of change. Finally, robust SDG impact assessment demands appropriate measurement approaches. These include outcome-oriented KPIs, stakeholder feedback, longitudinal data, qualitative insights, and alignment with recognized frameworks. Integrating ESG and BRSR disclosures with SDG outcome metrics strengthens accountability, enhances investor confidence, and ensures that sustainability reporting reflects genuine progress rather than compliance-driven outputs. Slide 5. Integrating SDG mapping into BRSR workflow. Integrating Sustainable Development Goal (SDG) mapping into the Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting (BRSR) workflow enables organizations to move from fragmented disclosures to a coherent, impact-oriented sustainability strategy. This integration ensures that corporate actions, risks, and outcomes are systematically aligned with national priorities and the Global 2030 Agenda. At the strategic planning stage, SDG mapping helps organizations identify priority SDGs based on business context, sectoral materiality, and stakeholder expectations. Linking these priority SDGs with BRSR principles and material ESG themes supports informed target setting, capital allocation, and long-term value creation while embedding sustainability into core business strategy rather than treating it as a peripheral exercise. Data collection forms the operational backbone of SDG-aligned BRSR reporting. Organizations must establish standardized data systems across functions and value chains to capture environmental, social, and governance indicators linked to relevant SDG targets. This includes defining baselines, ensuring data quality, and integrating qualitative insights such as stakeholder feedback to complement quantitative metrics. Through performance analysis, organizations assess progress against SDG-aligned KPIs, moving beyond activity and output metrics toward outcomes. This analysis supports risk identification, opportunity assessment, and course correction, while enabling comparability and consistency across reporting cycles. Reporting and communication alignment mechanisms ensure that SDG-linked insights are coherently reflected in BRSR disclosures, annual reports, and investor communications. Clear narrative linkages between business actions, BRSR principles, and SDG outcomes enhance transparency and credibility for regulators, investors, and civil society. Effective integration is strengthened by organizational alignment mechanisms, including board oversight, cross-functional ESG committees, defined accountability, and capacity-building initiatives. Finally, technology enablers, such as ESG data platforms, analytics tools, and digital dashboards, support real-time monitoring, data integration, and scalable reporting. Slide 6. SDG alignment benefits. Beyond compliance. Aligning business strategy and reporting with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, delivers value far beyond regulatory compliance, particularly when embedded within ESG and BRSR frameworks. Organizations that meaningfully integrate SDGs into decision-making unlock strategic, financial, and societal benefits that strengthen long-term competitiveness. One of the most significant advantages is enhanced investor appeal. Investors increasingly assess companies on their ability to manage long-term environmental and social risks while capturing sustainable growth opportunities. Clear SDG alignment, supported by credible metrics and outcomes, signals strategic foresight, resilience, and governance maturity, key factors influencing capital allocation and cost of capital. Reputation and brand value are also strengthened through SDG alignment. Demonstrating tangible contributions to global and national development priorities builds trust among customers, regulators, employees, and communities. Companies perceived as purpose-driven and responsible are better positioned to maintain brand loyalty and attract top talent in a values-driven marketplace. SDG alignment further catalyzes innovation and market opportunities. By addressing challenges such as clean energy, inclusive finance, sustainable consumption, and digital inclusion, businesses can develop new products, services, and business models that respond to emerging societal needs. This expands access to growing sustainability-linked markets and future-ready value chains. From a risk management perspective, SDGs provide a structured lens to identify systemic risks related to climate change, resource scarcity, inequality, and governance failures. Integrating SDG insights into enterprise risk management enhances preparedness, reduces operational disruptions, and supports regulatory and reputational risk mitigation. Strong SDG alignment also fosters partnerships and collaboration. Achieving complex development outcomes requires cooperation across value chains, governments, civil society, and financial institutions. SDGs offer a common language for collaboration, enabling shared solutions and collective impact. Finally, meaningful SDG engagement strengthens the organization's social license to operate. By aligning business objectives with societal expectations and community priorities, companies reinforce legitimacy, reduce conflict, and secure long-term operational continuity. Slide 7. Emerging trends in SDG, BRSR integration. The integration of Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, with India's Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting, BRSR, framework is rapidly evolving from compliance-led disclosure to decision-useful, impact-oriented reporting. Several emerging trends are shaping this transition. A defining shift is the adoption of double materiality, requiring companies to assess both financial risks, opportunities, outside in, and their impacts on people and the environment, inside out. This approach strengthens SDG alignment by linking enterprise value creation with societal outcomes, enhancing the relevance of BRSR disclosures for investors and policymakers alike. Another key development is the evolution of BRSR core and assurance. Mandatory, standardized indicators and the gradual move toward limited, and eventually reasonable, assurance are improving data comparability, credibility, and audit readiness. This evolution reinforces trust in SDG-linked claims and mitigates greenwashing risks. ISSB standard convergence is also influencing SDG, BRSR integration. Alignment with global baseline sustainability standards is streamlining disclosures, reducing reporting fragmentation, and enabling Indian companies to communicate SDG-relevant risks and opportunities consistently across capital markets. Rising expectations around Scope 3 and value chain reporting reflect recognition that most SDG impacts occur beyond direct operations. Enhanced supplier engagement, traceability, and responsible sourcing are expanding accountability across value chains, directly supporting SDGs on climate action, decent work, and responsible consumption. The proliferation of science-based targets, particularly for climate and nature, marks a move from aspirational goals to evidence-based pathways aligned with planetary boundaries. These targets strengthen the credibility of SDG commitments by anchoring them in measurable trajectories. Finally, technology-enabled impact measurement is accelerating progress. Digital ESG platforms, advanced analytics, geospatial data, and AI are enabling real-time monitoring, outcome tracking, and scalable SDG impact assessment. Slide 8. Case study illustration, Manufacturing Sector SDG, BRSR integration. The manufacturing sector provides a compelling illustration of how Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, can be operationalized through India's Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting, BRSR, framework. Given its energy intensity, labor footprint, and supply chain reach, manufacturing plays a pivotal role in advancing multiple SDGs simultaneously. SDG 7, Clean Energy, is addressed through the adoption of renewable energy, energy-efficient machinery, and process optimization. Under BRSR Principle 6, manufacturers increasingly disclose reductions in energy intensity, on-site solar installations, and procurement of green power, linking operational efficiency with climate resilience. SDG 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth, is advanced via workforce safety, fair wages, skill development, and inclusive employment practices. BRSR disclosures under Principles 3 and 5 capture occupational health and safety performance, training hours, and labor standards across operations and supply chains, demonstrating commitment to productive and dignified employment. SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, is reflected in investments in advanced manufacturing technologies, automation, digitalization, and R&D. These initiatives enhance productivity, product quality, and resource efficiency while supporting long-term competitiveness and industrial innovation. SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, is central to manufacturing SDG, BRSR integration. Circular economy practices, such as waste minimization, recycling, sustainable material sourcing, and eco-design, are disclosed through material flow metrics, waste diversion rates, and product stewardship initiatives. SDG 13, Climate Action, is embedded through greenhouse gas accounting, emissions reduction targets, and climate risk management. Manufacturers increasingly align disclosures with science-based targets, scenario analysis, and transition strategies, reinforcing accountability for climate impacts. Finally, SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals, is enabled through collaboration with suppliers, technology providers, governments, and local communities. Value chain engagement, supplier ESG assessments, and industry alliances demonstrate how partnerships amplify SDG outcomes beyond factory gates. Slide 9. Implementation Roadmap. Operationalizing SDG, BRSR alignment. Operationalizing alignment between the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and India's Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting, BRSR, framework requires a phased, structured implementation roadmap. Such an approach enables organizations to progressively integrate SDGs into governance, strategy, operations, and reporting while ensuring data credibility and stakeholder confidence. Phase 1. Foundation building focuses on establishing the baseline. Organizations identify priority SDGs through sectoral materiality and stakeholder engagement, map these against BRSR principles, and assess existing policies, processes, and data systems. Governance structures, such as board oversight and cross-functional ESG teams, are strengthened, and internal capacity is built through training and awareness. Phase 2. Integration and alignment embeds SDGs into business strategy and management processes. Sustainability objectives are translated into measurable targets and KPIs aligned with BRSR disclosures. Operational processes, capital allocation, and risk management systems are updated to reflect SDG priorities, while value chain considerations are progressively incorporated. Phase 3. Measurement and reporting emphasizes robust data collection, performance tracking, and outcome assessment. Organizations implement standardized methodologies, establish baselines, and enhance data quality controls. Reporting evolves from activity-based disclosures toward outcome-oriented narratives, enabling transparent communication of progress against SDG targets through BRSR and related reports. Phase 4. Continuous improvement focuses on refinement and long-term value creation. Performance insights are used for course correction, innovation, and scaling successful initiatives. External assurance, benchmarking, and stakeholder feedback strengthen credibility, while technology-enabled analytics support real-time monitoring and impact assessment. This phase ensures that SDG, BRSR alignment remains dynamic and responsive to emerging risks, opportunities, and regulatory expectations. Slide 10. Addressing common challenges in SDG, BRSR mapping. Mapping the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, to India's Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting, BRSR, framework presents recurring challenges that organizations must address to ensure clarity, credibility, and strategic value. A primary challenge is SDG proliferation and lack of focus. With 17 SDGs and 169 targets, organizations often struggle to prioritize, resulting in diffuse disclosures that lack material relevance. This can dilute strategy content and overwhelm reporting processes. The solution lies in rigorous materiality assessment, aligning priority SDGs with business context, sectoral risks, and stakeholder expectations, so efforts and disclosures concentrate on areas of highest impact. Attribution complexity is another significant hurdle. SDG outcomes typically result from multiple actors and systemic factors, making it difficult to attribute progress to a single organization's actions. Expecting direct causality can lead to overstated claims or underreported contributions. Adopting a contribution-based approach, supported by a clear theory of change, partnerships, and outcome indicators, helps organizations credibly demonstrate their role in advancing SDG targets without overclaiming impact. Data availability and quality constraints frequently limit robust SDG, BRSR integration. Inconsistent methodologies, gaps in value chain data, and limited historical baselines undermine comparability and assurance readiness. Strengthening internal controls, standardizing data definitions, leveraging digital ESG platforms, and progressively engaging suppliers can significantly improve data integrity and coverage. Finally, evolving standards and expectations create ongoing complexity. The rapid development of BRSR core, assurance requirements, global convergence with ISSB standards, and heightened investor scrutiny require organizations to continuously adapt. Rather than treating this evolution as a compliance burden, forward-looking companies design flexible reporting architectures, monitor regulatory developments, and embed continuous improvement into sustainability governance. By addressing these challenges systematically, through prioritization, contribution-based impact logic, data strengthening, and adaptive governance, organizations can transform SDG, BRSR mapping into a strategic tool that enhances transparency, resilience, and long-term value creation. Slide 11. Stakeholder communication. Translating technical mapping into compelling narratives. Effective SDG, BRSR mapping delivers value only when complex technical insights are translated into clear, relevant, and credible narratives for diverse stakeholders. Tailored communication builds understanding, trust, and engagement across audiences with distinct information needs. For investors and analysts, communication should connect SDG-aligned performance with financial materiality, risk management, and long-term value creation. Clear explanations of how priority SDGs link to strategy, capital allocation, climate and social risks, and measurable outcomes enhance decision usefulness. Consistency across BRSR, annual reports, and investor presentations strengthens credibility and supports comparability. Employees are critical enablers of SDG delivery. Translating technical mapping into purpose-driven narratives helps employees understand how their roles contribute to broader societal outcomes. Using accessible language, internal dashboards, storytelling, and leadership messaging fosters engagement, pride, and accountability while reinforcing a shared sustainability culture. For customers and consumers, narratives should emphasize how products and services create positive environmental and social outcomes, such as safety, quality, affordability, reduced footprints, or inclusive access. Avoiding technical jargon and focusing on tangible benefits builds trust, supports responsible consumption, and strengthens brand loyalty. Communities and civil society organizations seek transparency, inclusiveness, and responsiveness. Communication should highlight local impacts, stakeholder engagement processes, grievance mechanisms, and partnerships that address community priorities. Evidence-based storytelling, case examples, and outcome-focused reporting help demonstrate genuine contribution rather than aspirational claims. For regulators and policymakers, clarity and alignment are paramount. Communications should demonstrate compliance with BRSR requirements, coherence with national development priorities, and contribution to SDG targets using standardized metrics and clear methodologies. This supports policy evaluation, benchmarking, and informed regulatory dialogue. Across all audiences, effective narratives balance quantitative evidence with qualitative insights, articulate a clear theory of change, and remain consistent over time. By translating technical SDG, BRSR mapping into audience-specific, outcome-oriented stories, organizations enhance transparency, manage expectations, and strengthen long-term stakeholder trust. Slide 12. Future of SDG, BRSR integration, 2020 and beyond. The future trajectory of SDG, BRSR integration reflects a decisive shift from voluntary sustainability narratives to enforceable, data-driven accountability frameworks. Several transformative trends are shaping this evolution. Mandatory human rights and environmental due diligence (HREDD) is emerging as a global norm. Companies are increasingly expected to identify, prevent, mitigate, and remediate adverse human rights and environmental impacts across operations and value chains. This strengthens alignment with SDGs on decent work, inequality reduction, and strong institutions, while embedding accountability within BRSR governance disclosures. Climate transition plans are becoming central to SDG, BRSR integration. Beyond emissions reporting, organizations are required to articulate credible pathways aligned with net zero and climate-resilient development, linking capital expenditure, governance, and risk management with SDG 13, climate action, and long-term enterprise value. The rise of nature-related financial disclosures marks another critical frontier. With biodiversity loss and ecosystem degradation posing systemic risks, nature-related risk assessment and disclosure are gaining prominence, reinforcing SDGs 14 and 15 and expanding the scope of environmental accountability beyond climate alone. A notable trend is the move toward social and governance parity with environmental reporting. Issues such as living wages, workforce well-being, diversity, ethical conduct, and stakeholder rights are increasingly treated with the same rigor as climate metrics, supporting balanced progress across the SDG framework. Digital and real-time reporting is accelerating integration. Advanced ESG platforms, analytics, and automation are enabling continuous data capture, real-time monitoring, and outcome tracking, enhancing transparency, assurance readiness, and decision usefulness for investors and regulators. Looking beyond 2030 toward SDG 2.0, the focus is expected to shift from goal alignment to systemic transformation, prioritizing resilience, equity, planetary boundaries, and long-term societal value. In this future state, SDG, BRSR integration will function as a strategic management system, guiding capital allocation, innovation, and partnerships rather than merely fulfilling reporting obligations. Slide 13. Key recommendations for practitioners. Practitioners implementing SDG, BRSR integration must move beyond checklist-based compliance towards strategic, outcome-oriented sustainability management. The following recommendations offer a practical roadmap for effective implementation. Prioritize materiality as the foundation. With multiple SDGs and BRSR principles, organizations should focus on issues most relevant to their business model, sectoral risks, and stakeholder expectations. Robust double materiality assessments help concentrate resources where impacts and financial risks are greatest. To enhance credibility, move beyond outputs to outcomes. Reporting should not stop at activities undertaken or beneficiaries reached, but demonstrate changes in behavior, performance, or resilience aligned with SDG targets. Clear theories of change and outcome indicators strengthen impact narratives. Practitioners should embrace transparency, including challenges. Openly disclosing data gaps, trade-offs, and implementation constraints builds trust and reduces greenwashing risk. Balanced reporting that acknowledges limitations is increasingly valued by investors and regulators. Equally important is to integrate, not silo sustainability. SDG, BRSR considerations should be embedded across strategy, risk management, capital allocation, and operations rather than confined to sustainability teams. Cross-functional governance and leadership ownership are critical enablers. Organizations should actively leverage partnerships. Many SDG outcomes require collaboration across value chains, industry peers, governments, and civil society. Partnerships amplify impact, improve data availability, and support collective solutions to systemic challenges. To strengthen confidence in disclosures, invest in assurance and verification. Independent assurance improves data quality, comparability, and investor confidence, particularly as BRSR core and global assurance expectations evolve. Practitioners must also stay ahead of the curve by monitoring regulatory developments, emerging standards, and best practices. Adaptive systems and continuous learning help future-proof reporting frameworks. Finally, always connect sustainability to business value. Demonstrating how SDG, BRSR integration supports resilience, innovation, risk mitigation, and long-term value creation ensures sustained leadership commitment and meaningful implementation. Slide 14. Conclusion. From mapping to movement. The SDG, BRSR mapping framework marks a critical transition from fragmented sustainability disclosures to an integrated, action-oriented approach that aligns corporate performance with national and global development priorities. While mapping provides the structural logic, linking Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, with business responsibility and sustainability reporting, BRSR, principles, the real value emerges when this alignment is translated into measurable action, strategic decision-making, and sustained impact. For organizations, SDG, BRSR mapping offers more than reporting coherence. It creates a common language that connects governance, risk management, operations, and value creation with societal outcomes. When embedded into strategy, capital allocation, and performance management, the framework enables companies to move beyond compliance and demonstrate credible contributions to climate action, social equity, innovation, and institutional strength. For investors and analysts, integrated SDG, BRSR disclosures improve decision usefulness by clarifying how environmental and social risks intersect with financial performance and long-term resilience. Outcome-oriented reporting, supported by consistent metrics and assurance, enhances comparability and reduces information asymmetry in capital markets. For regulators and policymakers, SDG, BRSR alignment strengthens policy coherence by linking corporate disclosures with national development agendas and the 2030 timeline. It also enables benchmarking, accountability, and evidence-based policy refinement. Ultimately, the shift from mapping to movement reflects a broader transformation in corporate sustainability, from static disclosures to dynamic systems of accountability and continuous improvement. As expectations evolve toward due diligence, transition planning, and real-time impact measurement, SDG, BRSR integration will increasingly function as a management tool guiding innovation, partnerships, and long-term value creation. In this future state, businesses are not just reporting on sustainability, they are actively shaping inclusive, resilient, and sustainable development pathways. Slide 15. Moving forward, your SDG BRSR journey begins. Your SDG BRSR journey marks a decisive step from understanding sustainability frameworks to embedding them into the core of organizational strategy and execution. Having explored the principles, mapping logic, and implementation pathways, the focus now shifts to action, turning alignment into measurable outcomes and long-term value creation. The SDG BRSR framework provides a shared language that connects global development priorities with India's regulatory and business context. Moving forward requires organizations to internalize this language across governance, strategy, risk management, operations, and reporting. The journey begins with clarity on material SDGs and BRSR principles, followed by the integration of these priorities into targets, KPIs, capital allocation, and performance management systems. Progressive organizations recognize that SDG BRSR alignment is not a one-time reporting exercise, but a continuous improvement process. It demands stronger data systems, cross-functional ownership, stakeholder engagement, and the ability to learn and adapt as expectations evolve. As disclosure requirements mature, through BRSR core, assurance, and global convergence, companies that invest early in robust systems and capabilities will be better positioned to respond with confidence. Equally important is the cultural dimension of the journey. Employees, suppliers, customers, and communities must see how sustainability priorities translate into everyday decisions and tangible benefits. Clear communication, leadership commitment, and incentive alignment help embed SDGs into organizational DNA. Looking ahead, SDG BRSR integration will increasingly serve as a strategic management tool, guiding innovation, partnerships, and resilience in a rapidly changing risk landscape shaped by climate change, social inequality, and technological disruption. By starting now and committing to credible, outcome-oriented implementation, organizations can move beyond compliance to become active contributors to inclusive and sustainable development. The journey has begun. Its impact will be defined by the choices made today. The matrix provides the map. You provide the movement. Together, we advance towards 2030. Here we mark the end of this session and close the discussion. We summarized this topic as the SDG BRSR Framework Mapping Matrix reflects a decisive evolution in sustainability reporting, from fragmented, compliance-driven disclosures to an integrated, impact-oriented approach that positions ESG performance as a driver of long-term value creation. The framework emphasizes the interdependence of environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and governance excellence, aligning corporate performance with nationally and globally recognized Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. To explore more about the alignment of SDG with BRSR, register the Martyr Certificate course on lavassa.com. Next week we take SDG, GRI Framework Mapping Matrix, Part 1, under the SDG, GRI Framework Mapping Matrix is significant because it systematically links organizational sustainability disclosures to global development priorities. It enhances reporting coherence, prevents fragmented SDG claims, improves comparability and credibility, and enables companies to demonstrate measurable contributions to sustainable development through standardized, internationally recognized GRI indicators. It serves as a strategic tool for corporate reporters, investors, and sustainability professionals seeking to align their ESG disclosure practices with global development objectives. We encourage you to remain actively engaged with our platform, participate in upcoming sessions, and share these insights with peers who are equally committed to advancing sustainable development and responsible enterprise. We wish you continued success, enduring inspiration, and steadfast resilience as you contribute to building a sustainable, inclusive, and prosperous future.